when you multiply positive on both sides of the equation, inequality, it doesn't change. But when you're multiplying negative, you need to change that to the other direction. All right, now we're gonna do some graphing. So you are familiar with this in the Greek paper, I believe, and we are familiar with the x-axis and y-axis, right? We did a lot of times, and this is Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, we use rectangular coordinate system consisting two perpendicular number lines, so x-axis and y-axis. Horizontal axis is usually x-axis, but you can change that to a and y-axis to b. Doesn't matter. But we are so familiar with the x-axis and y-axis, right? Which one is our independent variable, x or y? Usually we use x as independent variable, y as dependent variable, right? But you can also flip it around too, it doesn't matter. What is the origin? 0, 0, right here, when x-axis and y-axis crosses, right? That point. So that 0, 0 is the origin. And these two axes divide the plane, this two-dimensional plane, into 4 quadrants. So where does the first quadrant go? Right here. This is first quadrant. How about second quadrant? Here or there? Have left. There we go. So we go counterclockwise. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me give you one point, and you need to say with whether it is quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, you can just show me your fingers, or you can say that out loud. In the parentheses, how about -3, 2? -3, 2. Where does that go? Got it? All of you said it's 2. That's because -3 is here, x-axis, right? And y value is 2. So that point was up here. So it is in quadrant 2. How about 4, -3? 4, -3, yes. 4, -3 is right here. So quadrant 4. Very good, very good. Okay, so things like that. Okay. Then how about if both x value and y value are negative? Which quadrant is that? Quadrant 3. Both x and y values are negative. That's quadrant 3. Both values are positive. Quadrant 1. Okay. If x is negative and y is positive, it's quadrant 2. Okay. X is negative, y is positive, and so on and so on. Okay. We got that idea. So when we're plotting the points, we need to go in order the pair, starting from x, and you're going to put y. So you're going to look at x value first, then you're going to look at y value, right? So we already know how to do that. And to graph linear equation, let's look at the word linear. What does linear mean? Line. It's related to the line. So it's a line equation. It can be, any line. Straight line. Okay, so you can solve for y. That's what you need to do first. Then you can select at least 3 values for x and y. Well, think about straight line. How many points, at least how many points do you need to make straight line? Actually 2, right? If you have only 1 point, you can draw so many lines that crosses that point. If you have 2 points, there's only exactly 1 straight line there. So you actually need 2 points, but why am I saying choose at least 3 values for x and y? Why? Why am I saying 3? Just to make sure. If you have found, some different value, actually this has to be the second value. This is the correct value you found, but you found this value wrong and got this point. Your graph will be totally wrong. Wait, let's say your third value is saying that, oh, it's right here. then you can say that, oh, what? I cannot make straight line there, right? So you can check that again. That's why I'm asking you to have at least 3 values, okay? And then you can plot the points. Then what do? You can connect those points with a straight line, right? Okay, so we're gonna do some practice of that. When you're graphing 7x minus y, what do you need to do first? You need to solve for y. That's your aim, okay? So that's what you are aiming for. In order to do that, you can add y on both sides. Why do we do that? Because this is negative y. We want to have a positive y. That's one way. That's not the only way, okay? So one way, you can add y on both sides, then negative y is gone. And actually, I'm gonna show you also that one instead of telling you. Okay. So if you're given 7x minus y is equal to 7, one way you can think about it, I want to have a positive y because I need to solve for y, positive y, right? You can add y on both sides. When you're adding same number of the equation, the equality doesn't change, right? So we can do that, and we know negative y plus y is positive y, so I have 7x is equal to 7 plus y. We are solving for y, so our goal is what we're gonna have is y is equal to something, 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 but I still have plus 7 there. So I can subtract 7 on both sides this time, right? Because 7 is added. Then 7 minus 7 is 0, 0 plus y is y, and I have 7x minus 7, right? So I'm done. Y is equal to 7x minus 7. That's the same as I can split them over 7x minus 7. That's one way, okay? Or you can also do 7x minus y is equal to 7. I'm going to just leave negative y there and get rid of 7x. I can do that too, right? By subtracting 7x on both sides. So this is gone, and I have left negative y. And I have negative 7x plus 7. Right? Negative 7x plus 7. But I need to solve for y equals, right? So I need to change this to positive y. By how? By multiplying negative 1 on both sides. Remember, you are multiplying negative 1 to the whole thing. So we have y is equal to negative 7x times negative 1, positive 7x, positive 7 times negative 1, negative 7. You can do that, right? So either way, it works. Okay? So just choose your preference. All right? So once you got that, what can we do? We can make a table like this. So let me here. Okay. So we can make a table of x and y value to find the coordinating ordered pair. So if x is 0, I like 0 because 0 times 7 is 0. It's so easy, right? 0 and y value is negative 7. If x is 1, you can plug it in. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. So the same thing. 7 times 2, 14 minus 7, 7. If x is 3, 7 times 3, 21 minus 7, 14. If x is 4, 7 times 4 is 28 minus 7, the y is 21, and so on and so on. So you just need at least 3 values, but I did more than that, right? So we have ordered pair 0, comma, negative 7, 1, comma, 0, 2, comma, 7, 3, comma, 14, 4, comma, 21. You can graph these points on a grid paper, right? So I'm going to give you the grid paper, and you can make x-axis and y-axis on this graph. You can make it smaller on one corner so you can use the rest of the space. once you plot the points, you can connect the points with a straight line. If you have anything like notebook or paper, connect the straight line, it could be wonderful. If you need a ruler, let me know. I can bring that too. Does anybody want to have a ruler? Ruben? Make sure you draw x-axis and y-axis. Mark the origin, 0, 0. Then plot the points. Without x-axis and y-axis, you cannot draw it. Okay, so make sure you do that. I hope it's big enough, right? Okay, I believe you got that, right? So did you get the similar graph to this one? It's not going through the origin. It's not direct variation, right? Okay, so it goes through 0, negative 7, 0, negative 7, 1, 0, 2, 7. Maybe you have different scale there. I don't like this scale so much because this one is 1 and that's 7 with the same amount. So it's not really good. So maybe yours is a little bit more slant, steep slope, right? Okay. So yeah, you can do that. And one more thing that I want to mention is this 0, negative 7. When x is 0, y goes to negative 7. What do you call that? It has a specific name for this. When x is 0, y is negative 7. We call this as y-intercept. Okay, this is y-intercept, y value when x is 0. Okay, then similarly, what could be this one, x value, when y is 0? What could this be? X-intercept. Okay, so that is the definition of x-intercept and y-intercept. So x, this is not going to work. What did I do, guys? I don't know. So here's the definition of y-intercept. Y-intercept is y value when x is 0. X-intercept is x value when y is 0. Okay. So one way to find the graph, you can just find the x-intercept and y-intercept. That's one way. Okay, we're gonna talk about that later too. This is really annoying, doesn't it? up here, and how can I make it go away? Does it bother you guys a lot? Or is it okay? Okay. I will figure it out. Okay. I will figure it out later. X-intercept is here again. X value. X-intercept is X value when Y is 0. Y-intercept is Y value when X is 0. So let's take a look at this graph. Okay. X-intercept is X value when Y is 0. So your Y should be 0. Your Y should be 0 and X passes through, this line passes through this X value. That's X-intercept. Y-intercept is Y value when X is 0. So you can see that X is 0, but there's Y value there. So 0, comma, this. This is that value, comma, 0. Make sense? Okay, so those are the x-axis and y-axis. Okay? So if you're given an equation like this, can you find x-intercept and y-intercept and use those intercepts to draw the graph? Okay, this time we're gonna just use x-intercept and y-intercept. So how do you find the x-intercept? You can plug in y as 0 because x-intercept is x value when y equals 0. And how can we find the y-intercept? You can plug in x as 0 because that's the y value when x is 0. Okay? Okay, so can you write this down? 2x minus 4y equals 8. Because I'm going to figure out